Gilkins just come back from Old Trafford virtually. It was West Ham 0, Manchester United 1. Matt, listen, I'm not too disappointed about the result. I'm disappointed with the way we went about tonight.
I think 99% of us will all agree with you, mate, to be honest. You know, I mean, it was... it's one of those ones that it just seems to be the story repeating itself, no, against the big four, as you can call them. It just seems that, you know, we just seem to have the same setup, the same style of play, the same everything. And unfortunately, it seems like we just seem to get the same result over and over again.
It is a bit like Groundhog Day. Why do we keep on doing this, Matt? Why do we keep on going into these big 6 games, picking the same side and losing the same game?
Mate, I think we've talked about it before. I think because we're not a big club in the same way that they are, that we probably still have that inferiority complex. You know, we still have it there that we maybe, you know, even though, you know, noise coming out of camp, everybody's proud of what we're doing, but maybe deep down we still have these things that we don't think that we deserve to be where we are, you know? And I mean, it's easy for us to criticize, but I mean, put ourselves in Moyes' position, you know? We're doing blinding. We're doing really, really well. We're one of the few teams, mate, that hasn't been smashed to pieces this year. You know what I mean? You know, from you know, it's so easy. How many 4-0s, 5-0, 6? You know, how many times have we've seen these results this year, especially? You know, we're one of the few teams that haven't been turned over. So I mean, maybe Moyes goes in and says, you know what? I want to protect morale. I want to protect, you know, the team unity, the continuity of everything. You know, considering that we have a lot of tough games coming up, and so maybe, you know, that's the reason why he goes out so defensively. I'm not saying I agree with him or I'd do the same if I was there, but, you know, putting myself in his shoes, maybe that's what he's thinking.
But, I mean, listen, it's not the end of the day. The results have gone our way, but, you know, we just can't seem to grasp it. But there's too much respect there, Matt, for my liking. And I don't like, you know, listen, I like Moyes, and Moyes has done a fantastic job for us. But you can't sit there and take the praise, but not take the criticism. And he's got to take the criticism.
Oh, without doubt, mate. And I guarantee you, with the games we have coming up, if we play giving these teams the same respect, we won't end up top 4. We won't even end up top 6. You know what I mean? If we continue with this style, I think we'll drop down to about 7th or 8th. You know, which again, okay, wouldn't be unhappy about considering where we were at the start of the season after the Newcastle and the Arsenal game. But considering how everything's panned out, I mean, it would be a little bit disappointing. You know, I mean, like you say, I mean, there's setting up defensively. And I mean, you know, a first half of Premier League football with 0 shots. You know, I mean, that's another level. You know what I mean? You know, it is another level of defensiveness that I just think, like you say, mate, I think genuinely we're better than that. You know? I think we're genuinely better than that. And I'm like you say, there is criticism. I'm really surprised. I mean, I know there's been a lot of chat about Noble, about everything. I mean, I know you guys talked a lot about him on the Friday night pint, you know, but, you know, everyone very quick to praise him, but quick to criticize him when he's selected in the team against Man United, you know. I mean, he was getting hammered on Twitter, and understandably, you could see maybe when Benrahma came on, why maybe he took a little bit of flack, because realistically, I mean, it was a game of 2 halves. You know, when Benrahma came on, you could just see. I mean, I was really surprised that Benrahma didn't start, considering that Lingard was unavailable. Weren't you?
Yeah, I am. I am very, very surprised. Fornell's not available either. I mean, just Noble's not the natural choice for me to go in there. He's just not.
No, and especially, mate, you know, considering, you know, Antonio didn't look at his best today. I mean, one of those days where maybe, you know, niggles were picking up with him. And remember, mate, if we go back to the first Man United game of the season, when we played them the first time in the season, we had probably the best 45 minutes of football that we've had all year against them in the first game. You know what I mean? And then the second half, they turned it on and a few mistakes and everything. So, I mean, Man United are not a team that are invincible defensively. You know what I mean? You know, I mean, it was there to take out. So, I mean, it really, like you say, it really does hurt. But, I mean, what can we do, mate? I mean, like you say, we're not fighting for relegation, you know? So, I mean, when you come home, if we'd have come home with a point, maybe we'd be talking about a different thing, you know? Or if we'd have come...
absolutely.
But, I mean, coming home, you know, with 0 points... an absolutely diabolical first half, a little bit better second half. I mean, it just doesn't really sit well. And I mean, just little things today, you know, like Bowen set it up to defend too much, you know. I mean, poor guy couldn't get anything creatively because he was defending too much. Diop, wonderful without the ball, clueless without it. You know, doesn't check his man. We've seen that time and time again. Seems to be able to play in a back five, but in a back four just seems to be lost. And I mean, just those little details, you know, again, that, I mean, well, like we say, Moyes has done miracle with the squad depth that we have.
Yeah, absolutely. Last question. How big is that Arsenal game next week?
Absolutely. Considering that they beat Tottenham, that was a massive favour for us. Huge, huge favour. But still, mate, the Arsenal are one of those teams that, like, you know, you don't know what team you're going to get. And we need those points. I said before, mate, before this game, I said we need 12 points out of 15 or 18. And I stick by that, mate, because, you know, I'm still pushing for top six at least.
Okay. Brilliant. Thank you very much, mate.
Take care, mate. Bye-bye.